Hey guys, DIY Salvage Guy here, and welcome back to the next episode of my channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment down below. Most importantly, make sure your post notifications are on as well so that you guys can stay up to date with the build and everything that's going on in the channel. To all my returning viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for continuing to support me and coming back here and watching these videos. So if you guys aren't following me over on Instagram, make sure you follow me over there as well, because I post things on there quicker than I post them on YouTube. That way you guys can stay up to date on the build, especially nowadays that we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers and we're going to be revealing the new build for you guys. Give you guys a quick little shot of it, ready to be unveiled to all of you. In this episode, we're going to be continuing on with the bumper repair. Now, this is going to be the second part in the bumper repair video series. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be hitting the driver's side of the bumper. So we have to sand it all down. We have to make sure that the bumper is sanded down really nicely, and then we're going to try to fix up these holes a little bit. So I was told that these holes are not going to be able to be repaired by a couple body shops and a couple experts in the industry. I disagree with them. I'm going to make sure that I get this done perfectly, and it's going to come out really, really well. So we're going to start off by cleaning the bumper. You guys know I don't have a hose, so I use my little spray gun and clean it all up. I'm going to bring it in, we're going to sand it down a little bit, and we're going to make sure that it is ready for the plastic welding. If you guys saw that last video with the plastic welding, you know how important it is to learn how to do, because the possibilities with it are endless, and it saves you a lot of time and a lot of money than having to do just plain body filler, and it's going to come in big handy in the next video of this as well. Okay, guys, we're going to be washing up the bumper a little bit, and we're going to get some of this body work done on this today. Hopefully still in that primer spot, that hole, not primer spot. Get some primer on it maybe later today, but right now we're just going to wash it up. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of dent removal. We have a little bit of I guess it's a dent on the bumper. I've showed this a couple times in the videos already, but right here where the pink is, it's a little bit warped, a little bowed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a heat gun, I'm going to heat it up a little bit. I'm going to take this little plastic tool and kind of put some pressure on it from the back. Hopefully we'll just be able to reshape it slightly, and then try to see if we can push this down a little bit, try to get it back into its normal shape. But you don't want to use anything too sharp, because it can provide imprints or something like that on there. So heat it up a little bit, make it a little malleable. We're not going to use a torch or anything, because it'll melt it. So got to be mindful of that, and we'll just give it a little bit of a push in the back and make it a little pliable. We're just going to provide nice short little pushes. You can kind of see the body moving a little bit, and so it's going to have to cool down. So we'll do that a couple times. It's going to heat up, it's going to cool down, and we'll throw some compressed air on it and hopefully speed up the process a little bit. So it's already looking better. It's still a little hot, but this dent is definitely out. I'm going to do a little bit more down towards the bottom, kind of push it out a little bit more, because it's a little bit recessed still. Just a tad bit more in there. So the dent is completely out right now. So now we're just going to work on trying to push down this little ridge right here. I'm not sure if we'll be able to, but we'll give it a shot. So the next thing we're going to do is kind of take care of these little chunks here. So I'm going to try to do some plastic welding on this. I'm going to have my fan going in the back, let the fumes go out. But right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to try to kind of weld this back together, make it a little pliable, and just get this back to where it needs to be. We can always fill in with a body filler later on, but right now we're going to start with this. We'll start with this small one, work our way to the bigger one, and then hopefully it'll stay nice and solid. Then we'll fill in with some plastic filler rod over here, and should come out really nice. So we'll start up here. We're going to use the plastic welder, and so I'm going to start down here just to make sure we get a little bit of structural integrity, and I'm going to try to hold it. We'll see if we can hold it with my finger. Might be a little hot, but usually we use a screwdriver, kind of just hold it in place just like that. Take our plastic welder, and so it's important to heat this up first. Heat everything up around it. Just want to melt the plastic right into it. Doesn't need to be pretty right now, you're just melting it together. With the fan, as it's blowing the plastic away, kind of do the drying of it. And just make it nice and uniform. And you guys can see that nice little patch repair that we just put in. So it's not pretty yet, it doesn't need to be. All it needs to be is just one solid piece. So that one went pretty well. We're going to move down to this side. This one has a little bit of tension on it, so it's going to be a little bit harder to kind of keep together. But I do have a larger area, so I'm going to hold it here, and then we'll weld it. And we want to make sure that we keep enough pressure on it so that when we are letting go, that as it cools, it stays together, because the last thing you want is to allow it to kind of just come back out, then you melted a bunch of plastic for nothing. And while you have extra plastic filler, you don't want to use too much of what you have, because you want to make sure you have a good nice bit of plastic on there. So alright, so the next part we're going to do is this bottom part. Torch is still nice and hot. We're just going to hold this in place right here, and we're going to get some plastic welding done right on this little crease. We'll let that cool down, and then we will move on to the other side. The technique we're using is we're melting one side and we're kind of just pushing it over to the other side. I'm a righty, so this is a little difficult just due to the way that I have to hold this right now. But once we have some structural integrity in here, it should be easier to maintain some dexterity with it. So you don't want to push too hard on it, you just want to let the torch do the work. And as it's cooling, it's not perfect, it's still coming out, but as we get more integrity on it, it'll stay a lot nicer. So remember, this step is for structural integrity. We'll get to the prettying it up in a little bit, but right now you just want to make sure that the plastic adheres to what you're trying to weld it to. So it's coming along nicely right now. Definitely not pretty. Have a large chunk here. We're gonna have to sand this all out, weld it all out, but yeah, it's coming along nicely right now. So we have another little piece that we can kind of get together here. So we'll weld up this last little piece right here, and then we'll have to do a body patch. Alright, so you guys can see that we went from that nice big hole that we had. We kind of just folded over some of the plastic. Now this is still deformed a little bit. This part's a little high. We're gonna kind of melt this over a little bit, kind of fill some of this into over here. And now all we have is this little little hole that should be pretty easy to patch. So nothing to worry about anymore. Bumper was definitely in pretty bad shape when we got it, but not pretty yet, but it will be once we're done. So now we have some structural integrity in there that the bumper is actually staying by itself. We're going to kind of get some of this extra plastic kind of over into the hole. Let the torch do the work, just flattening it out a little bit. Let the heat from the torch do everything for you. You want to make sure you sand up the area before you do anything. Make sure you get all the paint, anything else off of here that you have. Do the same thing on this side. We have another little dent right here, so we'll add some heat and try to push it out. So that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. You basically saw me go over the entire right side of the bumper. We fixed up that hole to the best of my ability on the outside. Next video, we're going to be going over with the patch, and we're going to fill in all of it the rest of the way. Sanded it all down, we washed it all up. So now the right side is almost as good as the left side. So maybe we'll try a little body filler again, see how that goes, but I'm not certain just yet. So make sure you guys smash that like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure your post notifications are on so that you guys can continually stay up to date on everything going on my channel. Make sure you guys are commenting down below because I love interacting with you and I love knowing exactly what you guys think about this. I'm always looking for feedback. I want to get better, and the best way that I can do that is by listening to you guys and trying to beat my limits every single day. We're getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, guys. I'm going to do a reveal video for that. Probably just throw it into the end of one of these next videos. But please make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell your friends about this, help spread the word a little bit, because I want to be able to do these builds as much as I can. I want to be able to get this content out to you as quickly as possible. And the more subscribers and the more followers that I have, the more motivation that I get from you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate it. Love you guys. Hope that you guys will try to pick up a wrench, buy a car, do whatever you got to do to just try to become a DIY salvage guy yourself.